The Giza Plateau incorporates thousands of tons of naturally resonant quartz and precisely cut granite beams, materials utilized in modern engineering for their specific piezoelectric and electromagnetic properties. On March 2, 1999, as classified activity at the site accelerated, the Fox network aired a massive 2-hour live television special called Opening the Lost Tombs, live from Egypt, hosted by Maury Povich. For decades, Dr. Zahi Hawass has aggressively policed the plateau, acting as the primary gatekeeper for the official narrative while ensuring the subterranean heart of the complex remains dormant. While the global audience watched the televised broadcast, a militarized team was already 100 feet deep in a cavern known as the Osiris Shaft, executing a high-stakes extraction. These synchronized media events function as psychological flashbangs, flooding the public consciousness to mask the recovery of high-energy hardware. The Osiris Shaft plunges 100 feet into the solid limestone bedrock, divided by multiple vertical levels. The interior is defined by a series of 90-degree drops and narrow, claustrophobic choke points that restrict the movement of any large object. At the absolute bottom of this labyrinth rests a single, perfectly carved 50-ton monolithic basalt sarcophagus. This layout reveals a mathematical impossibility. The dimensions of the sarcophagus are larger than the choke points in the shaft above it, meaning it could not have been lowered using primitive ropes and pulleys. The hardware arrived at level 3 through mass reduction technology, or the surrounding bedrock was formed around the device itself. At level 3, the team reached a chamber submerged in crystal-clear groundwater, an engineered fluid dynamic maintained by an ancient capillary system. Inside the sarcophagus lay a biological entity with a cranial capacity exceeding 1,800 cubic centimeters, the signature of a hyper-developed neocortex. They recovered 2 specific artifacts alongside the remains, objects the Ministry of Antiquities quickly labeled as religious amulets to maintain the archaeological narrative. These artifacts consist of highly engineered ferroelectric materials that oscillate in response to mechanical stress, effectively functioning as solid-state resonant transducers. Categorizing high-energy hardware as funerary trinkets is the primary mechanism the control system uses to hide the reality of ancient physics. The atomic lattice of these artifacts is designed to convert acoustic pressure into a high-voltage electromagnetic field. This exact physics is documented in U.S. Patent 2420864A, which describes a barium titanate dielectric capable of holding staggering amounts of electricity. These devices synchronize with the 110 Hz acoustic standing waves inherent to the Giza architecture, which possess a wavelength of exactly 3.12 meters. The intense mechanical pressure from these standing waves compresses the lattice of the transducer, generating localized electromagnetism. The crystal-clear groundwater at level 3 acts as a dielectric coolant, preventing the hardware from overheating during activation. This chamber functioned as a high-voltage power cell, providing the necessary activation energy for the global subterranean network. Immediately after the sarcophagus was breached, unmarked military units secured the site and bypassed local authorities. This chain of custody mirrors the exact containment protocols used during the 1947 Roswell retrieval. The remains and the transducers were funneled into unacknowledged special access programs, where they were permanently removed from the public archaeological record. The biological assets were transferred to the Foreign Technology Division at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for cryogenic isolation and isotopic decay analysis. The intelligence community prioritizes a total technological monopoly, ensuring that ancient biology is sequestered and studied far away from the reach of civilian science. Once the operator and the resonant artifacts were secured, the protocol shifted to permanently sealing the entrance to the network. The modern military utilizes nuclear-powered technology to thermodynamically melt their way through history, effectively bypassing all traditional excavation methods. This is documented in U.S. Patent 3693731A, describing a method for tunneling by melting, assigned to the United States Atomic Energy Commission. A nuclear-heated tungsten penetrator reaches 1500 degrees Celsius, overcoming the latent heat of fusion to turn solid bedrock into liquid magma. As the magma cools, it forms an indestructible obsidian plug. The arteries connecting the Osiris Shaft to the network were thermodynamically welded shut. While the public was focused on a television special, the true physical history of our planet was reverse-engineered, confiscated, and welded shut in the dark.